We got Hassan Piker doing a good deed on the internet. And as we know, no good deed goes unpunished. So let's see what he has done.
While I can't adopt all of these puppies, I wanted to, at the very least, pay the adoption fee of every single puppy in this facility, and I'm gonna do that in all of the other places that we go to as well. Hopefully, if they let us. So I talked to them ahead of time. Yeah, I talked. I talked to them ahead of time. When when the camera's inside, and we're gonna go do that right now, and then we'll move on to the next place.
So apparently the adoption fees for the puppies are $500 per puppy. And I assume there's more than 10 puppies per place. So that's like $5,000 wherever he goes. Especially he goes into many places. And, some people may argue that that's a good thing. Other people may argue that it's a bad. The reason it may be a bad thing is due to the fact that when people pay money for something, they're a lot more responsible. I have seen people that adopt a pet and then mistreat it or throw it away. And once you adopt a pet, if it grows, it's very difficult to give it to someone else. So, you may make that argument. But all in all, no, it's a good initiative. I cannot complain. But of course, this is the internet, and there's two types of complaints. Number one, why is he filming it? I mean, if influencers wants to do a good thing, I do not care if they want to get publicity for it. I'm not that Christian mindset where you're like, well, if you want to do a good thing, do it for the Lord. If some people want to be congratulated for doing a good thing, I've got nothing against it. I have something against virtue signaling where you're not doing a good thing, but you're just, pretending to be virtuous. But when you're actually helping someone or something, I don't care if you want praise or a standing ovation or whatever. That's fine. Of course, he's an influencer. He's doing this for his brand. I understand that. But, if some puppies that would have been put to sleep actually end up finding a home because of what Hassan did, from the puppy's perspective, he doesn't care that Hassan is doing this live. Now, there is the other argument, which infuriates me even more because it's something that people say all the freaking time when someone decides to help animals. But why isn't he helping a homeless person? Why isn't he donating to the sick children? And my question is, why don't you? Right? What's stopping you? It's his body. He can do whatever he wants with them. Not to mention, when you give money, you're still giving money to humans. There are humans working in those shelters, right? Those money that he is giving is still helping a human being. It still goes to put food on someone's table. It's ridiculous. I genuinely never understood this. I remember when I was in high school, we read about an elderly lady who was very rich. She passed away and she left her inheritance to an animal shelter. And people were like, oh my God, why didn't she leave some for the children? Who cares? It's her money. And if she wants to, she can just burn it. Well, it depends. In some countries, it's illegal to do that. But my point is, why does it matter? Right? It's her money. If you want to help people, you make money. What's stopping you? Right? That should be motivational for you. Hey, you know that there are starving children out there. There's a homeless person out there, right? It should motivate you to make money and then donate to them. I never understand this. It's a very bizarre take. But yes, on the internet, it seems that Mr. Beast and Hassan Piker are getting flack for doing charity work. Who cares? It's charity work. But of course, Hassan is getting a little bit less flack than Mr. Beast for some reason. It's really interesting. You have all these socialists that are saying, oh, rich people should do more to help, blah, blah, blah. And when a rich person helps, yeah, but why did they make it public? Why are they helping? That's not the correct way. The correct way is that they should donate money to the government, and then the government should help. And by the way, I will tell you what happens when you don't make it public. In Romania, the Orthodox Church is getting a lot of flack because the Orthodox Church has a lot of money, right? It's wealthy. Why is it having that? We need more hospitals than schools. We don't need more churches. Unironically, this is what the left says in Romania. But this is due to the fact that the church doesn't brag about his donations. Like, the church donates money to hospitals almost every month. But on top of that, the church actually in Romania owns hospitals. Like, there are hospitals that have been funded by the church. Because we have, like, this Christian tradition. In fact, many places of healing started due to the church. Like, the idea of a hospital, like the hospice. It used to be a place where travelers could rest that weren't allowed to be received anywhere else. Because in the medieval time, people still understood a little bit about diseases. Like, if you were coughing and sneezing, like, they understood, like, okay, well, this is a person that may be contagious. So when you had a traveler, usually they would sit at someone else's home. So you would go, right, you would travel, you would go through a village, and you would ask a person to receive you in their house for the duration of the night. And, usually people of the same social class would be allowed to go in there. So, like, a noble would ask another noble, a peasant would ask from a peasant. And it was something that most people agreed with because, well, first of all, they would pay for their for the time that they stayed there, and they would also exchange stories because back then you didn't have internet, television, newspapers, and they would be like, okay, so I traveled in this locations, this is what I see, and I come from this village, this is how life is over there. So most people were happy with that. But if you are sick or injured, usually they wouldn't receive you. So the only place you could go was a hospice, like a hospital, right? And that was sometimes associated with the church, and you had nuns over there and people that were tending to the wounded. So this idea that the church doesn't donate money, like we need more hospitals and schools rather than churches, is ridiculous. But, again, in Romania, the church doesn't talk about how much money they donate to hospitals and how much money they donate to schools. And because they don't do that, people assume that it's not doing it at all. So, no, this is why I don't think that if you do a nice act, you shouldn't be bragging about it. Super chats, for example, right? There's a lot of people that give super chats or super thanks because they want to see, like, their name over there with, like, the red icon or the yellow icon, right? Imagine saying, like, no, you shouldn't donate in public to the streamer you like. You should give it to their PayPal so no one gets to see what you're doing. It's like, no, it's your money. If you want to brag, then brag. Now, of course, if you want to judge someone for bragging, that's something else. But at the end of the day, if you're getting helped, like you're legitimately getting help, I don't think if you care that the person is bragging or not. Like, if someone gave me the cure for cancer, and then they went on television and they said, hey, I cured this person. It's like me, I did it. I wouldn't care because at the end of the day, I don't have cancer. I'm talking also about Mr. Beast, right? Like curing eye sickness from people and bragging about it. Right? Like, there's a lot of people like, why is he bragging about it? Well, he should brag about it. That's a nice thing he did. As for Hassan, he should tell people that he paid for the adoption so that people can go and fucking adopt. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section.